Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. This week's top 10 list is also going to be a top 5 list instead of a top 10. It is going through, we're going through the best of 2023 series, I guess you could call it. And these 5 notes this week are my top 5 error pickups from 2023. Now, I did not find these in circulation. I found one in circulation that has the same error as one of these, but all of these notes were purchased as errors, so I can't claim that I found them. I did pay a little bit of money for all these. That's an understatement. But anyway, these were my top 5 error pickups for 2023. Number 5. This one is graded, and I found one of these in circulation, but the one I found was on a $1 bill, and it wasn't in very good condition. This is a $5 note from 1993. It's a small head, and it's a star, but what makes it so cool is right down there. Check out the star. It's solid. It is a filled star, and you can see here in the designation, they call it a solid star error, and this was graded 64 EPQ. I bought this note graded this way. I did not send it in myself. Like I said, I also didn't find it, but there's a lot of cool portions of this particular note. First of all, it's a star. It's a $5 small head. It's part of the 1993 series. Now, you guys know that when I go through my $1 notes, there are not a whole lot of 1993s. That's true of the $5 notes as well. So it is a fairly short printed series. Now, they came out with more in 1995. So for it to be a 1993, and for it to be a star, and for it to be designated an error, see how you can start compounding all that stuff to understand why there would be a little bit of extra value on there. Looking at the back of this note, it's got, you can see these marks down here. Those are called roller marks. It's not damage. Those are roller marks from the paper being fed through a counter. So when the notes are cut apart and then they're counted and strapped, that's how you get these little marks here. So technically it would be damage, but they don't mark it on there. They just put EPQ on the back. But that's what that is there. Those are roller marks from that. Anyway, that one is number 5, my solid star error from 1993 on a $5 bill. Number 4. Here is an overprinting error. The overprinting error on this note happens to be on the Federal Reserve seal. That is interesting because you can see there was way too much ink applied. It all blended together, so you can't read any of it. The J in the center is a little bit fuzzy there with a little bit of over inking as well. But yeah, you can't read any of that. And we'll just bust out the other one here for comparison so you can see how much detail was supposed to be in there versus how much is actually in there. So yeah, definitely an error. And this is not done by a marker. I know that because it was graded. 1995 Federal Reserve note from Kansas City. Right there. Over-inking error. And this was actually graded pretty well. 66 gem uncirculated. And it does say see comments. And if we look on the back, the comment is over-inking of the district seal. I find that interesting. It's clearly an over-inking error. That was noted on the front. I guess they put see comments on there so that PMG, which is paper money guarantee, could guarantee the portion of the note that was the actual error in case somebody got a hold of this note and tried to make it a bigger error than what it was supposed to be. This way it's designated on the note itself in the holder. The other cool thing about this is it's a Kansas City note. Kansas City, the J series, they don't make a whole lot of notes. And of course, now that I say that, I look and it went all the way to M in this 1995 series. So maybe this particular year they did print a bunch of these. Yeah, M goes a long way. That would be the 13th letter of the alphabet. So anyway, that one is number 4. Number 3, I have a pair of over-inking errors. And these have to do with the with the seal of the United States, the Federal Reserve seal, rather than the district seal. These both are over inked. That is extremely dark green ink. It's not an ink contamination. Don't get that confused with the other ones. This is just a over inking, and because it's so dark, it's so heavily over inked, it looks dark. This is a great way to point out why the different shades that you're going to see with the numbers on notes has to do with how much ink was actually applied, not necessarily a contamination error. Now, contamination error, that's when black ink was incorporated into some of the numbers, and you'd actually get a black number instead of a green number. At a glance, this looks black, but as you look closer, you can see both of these seals are definitely just green. They are dark green because they were heavily inked, not because there was any contamination. I want to stress that, okay? The other cool thing is look at the serial numbers. These are consecutive. That's how I know these were done, these were real. And it was so heavily inked that the over inking caused the ink to also, this is not bleed through, okay? It caused the wet ink transfer on the back. The ink does not bleed through the paper. That's not how it works. And then you can see on the top portion of this, a little bit of ink came off there, and on this side as well. So it does have a little bit of ink splatter front and back because of the heavy inking there. And I'm just looking to see the number on this side. Here's the placement, A2. And of course, this one was also A2, as they would be to be one on top of the other. And this would be the order that they would have come out. You've got heavy inking here, and with that little bit of splash, I would also have to assume, well, yeah, looking at the back, this one is slightly lighter. Actually, let's look at it this way. You can see how this one is almost a full circle, and this one, you can see this section here is a lot lighter. So the over inking problem was in the process of being corrected. You can just see the difference between these two notes. How this has more over inking here compared to here. So yeah, this probably only went on for just a few more notes. So yeah, well, and that's just the wet ink transfer portion of it. Anyway, very cool error to see on consecutive notes there. That is number 3. Number 2. I see so many people trying to sell notes like this. This is a 1950D $10 small head. Check out the grade Gem New 65. PPQ is PCGS's grade to match the EPQ of PMG. This is a $10 note, and you can see right here how the serial number is turned. This is a gas pump error. All right, if you look, the third digit is supposed to be a 3, and if you look here, the 3 is virtually gone, and you can see the top of the 4. And if you look real close, we have 4s on either side, and you can see the left stalk of the 4 rises above the right stalk, which is why down here you only see the left stalk of the 4 sticking up. Once again, this is an actual gas pump error. When you have a note where the note is raised a millimeter or two, and you have to squint to see if it actually is, or if you have to go and take a piece of paper and line it up just to show, let's see, look how off that is. When you have to do something like that to determine whether it's off, then you have no additional value there. And when I say that, that's not 100% true, but the problem comes with that gas pump error might be worth $3, but they're going to charge you $5 for the gas pump error, and then they're going to charge you another $5 to ship it, and then you're going to pay whatever fees and taxes and everything else. So for that $3 note, you're paying like 12 bucks. That's why I stress not even to bother. You'll find one. They're common enough. But a note like this is the true error. This is what everybody is looking for. When you can see 2 different digits there, that's the error. You can see it's designated here, stuck digit in UR, which is upper right serial numbers. that's what you're looking for. We'll look at the back of this note here real quick. Of course, it got a great grade, so you know there's nothing wrong here. 1950D $10 error with a stuck digit. Very cool error. That's legit. That's what you're looking for. And finally, number one this week. Similar, but better. Also PCGS graded. Choice About New 58. And if we look, we can see it's a small head $5 note. And this one is from 1993. So once again, we're talking a shorter printed note. And what do we have on this one? We have a stuck suffix error. So the serial numbers are fine, but the suffix is the part that is rolled. And that's a little more interesting because as they're printing the notes, the suffix doesn't change, not until they go through all of these notes, whereas these numbers are constantly spinning. So it's easy to understand why some of these may get stuck or raised or lowered, but for the suffix to move, well, that shouldn't have moved. They should have been able to print 100 million notes without moving that suffix letter. And as we get close, you can see the A is definitely raised, and you can see a part of the B coming into the next one. That is most certainly a genuine error, and that's how they noted it. Stuck suffix. Letter in serial number at right, and of course that's what it is in comparison to the serial number on the left. Now, just so we can make the argument, look at the 7 compared to this 7. See how dark this 7 is and how normal this one is? And do you see how the grading company didn't care about that 7? If the grading company doesn't care about a heavy printed 7, then neither should you, because there's no additional value there. When they are handling this note and looking over every fiber of this note to give it a grade, they did not care about that. So no, when you see a note that has a slightly overprinted number like that, who cares? It's not a thing. Don't fall for it. Once again, checking the back of this note. Note is pretty good. It looks like right here is, I would call that handling, and it looks like it was handled by somebody that did not have clean fingers. And I think that is how the grade came to be. The centering, of course, on the note also hurt it. So that's where we get Choice About New 58 for the grade. So that one is number one. If you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.